After watching this episode, something became very clear to me. The real bad guy of Attack on Titan wasn't Eren, it wasn't Marley, heck it wasn't even a guy at all, it was Ymir the founder. The entire story of Attack on Titan is essentially Ymir coping with her inability to let go of the man she once loved, and this kept her trapped within her own creations. Let me explain this further so you can follow my thoughts. Ymir was born a slave. The king at the time, King Fritz, was not a good man in the slightest. So when Ymir was blamed for something she did not do, he had her hunted down like an animal for sport, and in her attempts to escape, she ended up at the giant tree and fell in, where the creature of life connected with her will to live and attached itself to her spine. It then became the first Titan, the founding Titan. The strange thing about what happens next is, Ymir returns to King Fritz on her own free will. No one was stopping her. He was now much more powerful than him and his entire armies combined, but she was still enslaved. Not by the king, but by herself. As the years went past, the king had her build roads, win wars, and do all of his bidding. What was her reward for all this? Birthing his children, to which she gave birth to 3. At the same time, she fell for the prick who enslaved her and used her. She fell hard too, because when an assassin tried to off King Fritz, Ymir jumped in the way and got stabbed instead. Not a problem though, since she can just heal herself, right? Not this time. Ymir heard how the king referred to her as a mere tool, and her heartbreak caused her to give up and pass away. But she never moved on from him. She was still attached. And so, in the world of the paths, which her grief and loneliness created, she now was connected to all of her descendants and future Eldians, stuck in a timeless void, a slave cursed by herself to do a worthless king's bidding, even through death and beyond time itself, to serve his ideals, carve away a path for the king's descendants, becoming a servant of the royal bloodline that came from her own flesh and blood. Why only royals can command her? Why did she decide to side with Eren then? Because Eren understood her cries for freedom, her loneliness, her rage, her inability to let go. That's what Ymir was waiting for, a man like Eren, and a woman like Mikasa, hopelessly obsessed to an idealistic man who knew no limits. Because in Ymir's twisted mind, she had to see someone like herself let go in order for her to also be able to let go of the feeling she had for the king. This was accomplished by the act of turning Eren into a murderer, coercing him into doing the worst things imaginable. Why? Just so Mikasa could finally push past her emotions and put him down, the same way Ymir should have put down King Fritz a long time ago. And so Mikasa finally does it, lands the finishing blow on Eren, and Ymir is standing behind her, watching the entire thing. And now for those of you thinking this is baseless, let me discuss the points in the story that show clearly how much Ymir influenced Eren's journey. The first and most important revelation we get is that all of Mikasa's sudden headaches were a result of Ymir forcibly invading her mind to watch her actions and thoughts, which tells us she has always been watching her. Now for her involvement with Eren. Down the rabbit hole we go, I suppose. I've always thought that the Attack Titan was strange among the 9 Titans. It's the only Titan that is the closest to being the founder, even having the memory transfer being so vivid, the point where it chooses itself who its next shifter is going to be, though it is revealed Eren himself has been feeding just enough information to previous wielders in order to ensure that the Attack Titan ends up with him. See, that's the weird part. Eren could have easily just altered the past if he felt like it to ensure the Attack Titan never reached him, but he didn't. Everything was set in stone for some reason, not by him, but by Ymir herself. Decided already which future she wanted to reach, and there was no changing it. In the world of the paths, there is no past, present or future. She had everything laid out in a blueprint for Eren to follow, and he did whether he liked it or not. Eren stated that it was impossible to change the future, but we know this is a lie, since he is the reason his own mother was eaten by a Titan, and the reason his father stole the founder. He can change the past and the future, just not to suit his needs, but to suit her needs. Her involvement becomes more clear in the final battle, where Eren promised he would not be stopping his friends, just moving forward. But Ymir couldn't risk that, so she formed all previous Titan shifters to fight, along with a pig-like Titan to incapacitate Armin, who was the biggest danger to Eren winning. She had to make sure things advanced to the point where Mikasa and the troops would change their minds from trying to save Eren to eliminating him. And her final salvo was ensuring Mikasa was the only one who could finally take down Eren. And she did, which gave Ymir her own closure. Ymir was now free of her attachment to the king, to her rage and to her shackles. No longer a helpless child, but a grown woman in appearance. And she finally disappears as the story ends. So what of Eren? Well, he never found true freedom. He was a slave to his quest for freedom, and it led him into the twisted game of Ymir. who used him as a therapy doll basically, and when done he was cast aside. Mikasa wasn't faring any better either, nor the Eldians. Temporary peace is all they ever get. Because guess what? The war never ended for long. Eldians weren't free, they kept getting attacked over and over again, even though they weren't a threat anymore, until sometime in the future, a young boy with his dog finds a massive tree in the forest. A strangely familiar tree with an opening in the bottom, and he heads inside the tree as the title says, The End. Which tells us that the loop isn't over, just that the one in the middle of the loop is going to be changing. I know this ending has a lot of people feeling not so great about it, but I enjoyed it. Oddly enough, I found the themes and the messages within it to be intriguing to a point. There was definitely a lot to unpack, and that's why I made this video. The first of many. I will be making more follow-up videos after this one. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to catch on to the next video I make, as well as supporting the channel. That would be great. I'm on a goal to reach 1000 subscribers as soon as possible, so your support means a great deal. Thank you for watching and have a great day.